This is Galatians 2:20 Ministries welcomes you today. You're here because we have a mock quiz organized for the quiz. We are recording this particular session for those who couldn't join, and I'm going to share my screen and then kind of walk you through what this is. And some of this I may repeat next Saturday. So please bear with me. Thank you that you are able to make it for this mock quiz. We wanted to get you familiarized with this. What is this about? And what do we do and how we do it? But let me first start by introducing myself. My name is Sunita Vijayaswarapu, and I have on the call my partner, Jamuna Jiva. Jamuna, if you could just wave.
Hi everyone.
Yeah,
Hi.
that's good. And let me put these things away. Okay. Jamuna, as people roll into the meeting room, you can add them in. All right. Our vision is to reach the lost and train the found. You have heard the parable of the lost sheep, the 99 that were left behind. I kind of see this as training of those 99, the believers, training, equipping and training the believers to become leaders of the kingdom, leaders in everything that Jesus has bought for us on the cross. Salvation that includes healing and peace and everything that he has given to us, not just going to heaven, but walking in the kingdom and enjoying the benefits of the kingdom, which sometimes we may have missed out in our journey. And our goal is to bring all those things out in discipleship and disciple people to become leaders of the kingdom, because Jesus has said, go and make disciples and teach them to observe all things. So that is our vision and how we do it, mission. And a lot of things we do is through virtual studies. And we do have boots on the ground outreaches that I will speak more about next week when we join. What we are doing here right now is encounter the word quiz. Today we are going to look at the guidelines. We're going to play a mock quiz. The topic of this particular quiz is Life of Joseph. The chapters from Genesis. Let me just pull in the next one. These are from Genesis chapter 37 to 50. And I'll speak more on the slide that is going to come and what time it's going to be. But 37 to 50, there is a chapter that talks about Judah and Tamara, which there won't be any questions in the quiz pertaining to that. I will mention that in the WhatsApp group as well, but I just wanted to let you know that you have one less chapter to read, because that truly is not talking about Joseph, but it's there between 37 and 50. And I'll talk more about that as we go. I want to quickly introduce the team that would be on the quiz. I am the quiz master. I will be leading the quiz and I'm walking you and talking you through the quiz. We'll have Smita, who will be overseeing everything. She is the controller. She is the silent watcher, and to ensure that everything is in order and there is no chaos and everybody is following the rules. And of course, you have met Jamuna. She is my partner, and we both are trying to we're both trying to make sure that this quiz is a pleasant learning experience for you, as well as a fun event. Now, the quiz rewards, I'm not sure if we have announced these yet, or maybe we did in some communication. Our first prize is $250. And in Indian rupees, that will be 20,000. Second prize is $150. The third prize is $100. This is our second year doing the quiz. I know in the grand scheme of things, this may not seem like a large amount of money, but at the same time, we are so glad we have partners, faithful partners, who have enabled us to be able to offer this. We want this to be, a gift, a reward, a blessing in your life for having taken the time to participate. So this is more in the spirit of wanting to bless you than playing a game and winning a trophy. That's that is the emphasis behind it. The fact that you have enrolled, you have registered, and you are participating in itself is a big win because you have taken the time to read the word, and that is the real purpose behind this quiz. So please, be ingrained with the spirit of the quiz. This is a fun way to do this, and we have had Youth in Christ Living Manna quiz for 6 years now, and this is the second year that we are doing for adults. And I find it, I think, important to mention why we did that. We are often, as believers, as mature believers, and we would encourage our kids, our younger generation, to participate in youth events, youth camps, and things like that. But have we been the role model in their lives in terms of discipleship, taking the effort to prepare and go through the same things, experience the same things that we expect our kids to do. So I think this is a wonderful way for families to come together and quiz each other, participate. And I know there are several families on this quiz that are playing, and it's such a joy for our ministry to be able to see that, three generations are coming together, youth and adults and seniors. So three generations are playing in the quiz. We have, and I'm not saying this to scare anybody. We have, I think, close to 65 people, individuals who have registered for the quiz. So just imagine the breadth of it. We have people who have joined us from India, from United States, from Australia, and Nigeria. So we are being represented. Quiz, we have representatives from 4 different continents. So we are really excited at how people have responded and shared the information, and encourage their family members to come. So we are really thrilled that God has chosen us to be part of this venture, and we pray that everything will go smoothly as planned. We are new to this, it's new to you. So thank you for the grace, and we believe by faith that everything will go in order and everything will be well. And there are a lot of things we have learned over the years, and we try to make things better. But it's a fun event. It's a small event. Doesn't take a lot of your time, and you will have a great time. All participants will receive a cash gift of $5 or whatever is equivalent in your country. Somehow we will make sure that it reaches you. This is just to bless you for having taken the time. So everybody gets something. Now, a few important things. The quiz is on 14th, and I think I may have messed up the date there on this slide. It's next Saturday. It's next Saturday. And it's at 9:45 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. But whenever I'm indicating my time, I'm indicating Eastern Standard Time. So please make sure in your time zones, because you're coming from different countries, make sure in your time zone, what does that translate to? We will not be giving you any guidance on that. It's up to you. You have a lot of applications that help you do that. So we trust that you know what it means. 9:45 a.m. EST is when we will start the check-in process. We want to make sure that if all these participants, 60 plus participants, are checked in with the photo ID, a driving license, a state ID, something that says you are who you say you are. We want to make sure the person who has registered is the person who is playing the game. There are no last minute entrants. Sometimes we would like to pull in a family member. We can't do that. We do follow whatever guidelines we have put in place. We are very particular that we follow that. So we will have to, and every year it happens, we turn down people who show up at the last minute. So we trust that only those who are registering are playing the game. So we do the check-in process. We want to make sure that happens very quickly and swiftly, and there are a lot of volunteers who help us do that. So we will be doing that in that 15-minute time zone, and once we have all those folks checked in, we will start the game. So quiz starts at 10 a.m. and ends by 12 p.m. It doesn't always take 2 hours, but it's safe to give yourself 2 hours. Stay till the end of the game. Stay till the end when the winners are announced. Just don't drop because you have we are done with the game. So we expect you to stay till everything's over, the entire event is over. And it's a nice way to respect all the participants that way. So I'm sure that wouldn't be a challenge for you if you put aside 2 hours next Saturday. The venue is online. Obviously, we will be playing this over the Zoom link, and you will be going through a mock quiz today to get a feel of how things go. The quiz is Life of Joseph, Genesis chapter 37 to 50. All the questions will be found on NKJV translation. What translation of the Bible you use probably shouldn't have a big deal, shouldn't make a big deal, play a big role, but it is helpful if you are on NKJV because the words would be familiar. Because I'm framing the questions on NKJV, when you read that, it'll come to you very easily, especially in a particular round, which I'll walk you through later. The scripture is taken from NKJV there. So it will be extremely beneficial if you use that translation. It'll make your experience a lot more smoother and easier. The contestants are not required to memorize any individual verses. I will not be giving any fill in the blanks or anything to say which is the word that is missing in this particular verse. So there is no memorization required. However, as you read through these chapters verse by verse, the expectation is you get familiar with it. Instead of just reading it as a bug, read it verse by verse, and try to remember what's going on in the story. And that in the experience of other participants, it has helped them to read it. Sometimes we read it as a story, we begin there, and then read it again, and then read it the third time and make a mental note of these things. But you don't have to memorize. So these are the very important details pertaining to the date and time of the quiz. Not to worry, we'll be sending a lot of reminders in the week to come, and we virtually spam you on the WhatsApp group. At this point, everybody who is participating, who has registered, is part of a WhatsApp group. If you don't have WhatsApp on your phone, it's okay. We send you an email as well. So if you are here and you say, I have no idea where is the WhatsApp group and I have not received the email, first of all, I don't think you would have made it to this mock quiz. So I'm not thinking anybody with that experience is here on this particular Zoom today. But if that is the case, it's important you get in touch with us through our email because you have registered. When you registered, I'm saying this to those who are watching the video, if you have registered but you haven't heard any communication from us, please do get in touch with us ASAP, as soon as possible. Sometimes email IDs are not correct. There is a star missing or a dash missing, and we don't want you to miss out if you have been preparing. We rely on the information you have given us. So that's the important aspects of the quiz. And I'll be looking at the quiz setup and things like that now. But let me just pause very quickly. Anybody has any questions on the time, date, for event?
Date is about 12th October, Sunita.
12th October, yes. The kids were on 14th September, so I apologize, my mistake. Next Saturday is 12th October, yes. Any questions, anyone, on what I have covered so far? All right. Everything that I have shared today, everything I'm talking about today, you have already received these guidelines by way of a video link. So if you are not able to make it, you can also look at it, refer to it again through the links that we have provided you. Some important things in the way the quiz is structured. The quiz scores, the score of the quiz is not just based on accuracy. If you have answered the question right, that's good. That's a very important thing. That is the first pass. And how fast you have answered. If, let us say, Jamuna has answered the question right and I answered the question right, but if she answers in 2 seconds and I took 3 seconds to answer, then her score would be more than mine. So it is important for us to remember that it's both accuracy and speed. we use an application called Quizzes. Some of you who are in the education arena domain, you are probably familiar with Quizzes. It is a gaming application. It's a quiz application used for education, as well as we are using the same setup to run the quiz over here. But it's an application that calculates everything. Jamuna and Sunita are not calculating the results of the quiz. The application is. Nobody's doing anything manually. So that is the version of truth for us. When Quizzes says this is the score, that is the score. There is no manipulation happening behind the scenes. So you can be at peace knowing that there is no human intervention. It's all automated. And that keeps things clean, easy, and very, very simple. So I'm glad we are able to use that particular application. So that's kind of what I have talked about. Training videos on how to use quizzes is available. We have sent that to you, and you will also be playing a mock quiz today. So those who are here today, 31 of you, God bless you. You have made the effort to take some time today to practice this. Kahoot or Quizzes game will be projected on the Zoom by the Quizmaster. That means when you have joined the quiz, you will be seeing the quiz play out on the Zoom and also on the device that you're using to play the quiz. It's important that I kind of clarify this. While the Zoom is on, you are watching the quiz. You can hear the quiz. You can hear me and see me. But in order to respond to the quiz, you either need to divide your laptop, your screen, have a split screen, or use another tab, or use another device. It's up to you what works the best for you. All right? Whatever works best for you, do that. We are not prescribing any rules, but it's important for you to know that there are two interaction points. While you are on Zoom, you cannot play. You have to play from another tab, another browser, or another device. What has worked best is probably a tablet or a phone along with the quiz. All right, so those are some things that we have learned over the period of time that has worked best. But if you have two monitors on your laptop, you're more than welcome to do that. And today is the day for you to try those things. And it will help you to engage in the quiz effectively. All right, and that's kind of what was mentioned here. The quiz team, Galatians 2:20 ministry is not responsible for your internet connections. In fact, we don't have any way to even control our own internet connections. We expect that connections will be well, and we pray and we believe by faith that, all these technical hindrances will not happen. But unfortunately, since we have multiple people from different countries, nations, places, depending on your internet connection, your phone, and, where you are, is very important, because the success of that depends on your connection. If you get disconnected while you're playing in the quiz, don't fret, don't worry, come back again. You're on the same code. You can come back to the quiz again and restart from where you are. So I don't want you to get disconnected, discouraged when you get disconnected, or your phone goes wonky, or your internet is glitching, and you get dropped off. You can always come back. Yes, you may lose a few seconds or maybe a minute, but that's all right. The quiz is designed in such a way that, even if you don't do a question or two right, there is the final round where the points are a little different and everything can change. And there are people who have, been disconnected from the quiz, came back again, and were on the top 3. So that has happened. So please don't feel bad if that happens. Just come back around and do the best you can. And if you truly cannot, then unfortunately, we are not in a position to help you. Once the game has started, we are not in a position to help you with, getting you reconnected and things like that. So that is kind of how it is when you are in a virtual setting, and unfortunately, that's the limitation. Another thing that I want you to be mindful of is when you come back, if you're disconnected, when you come back to the quiz, stay on the same course, use the same name. You don't have to, You don't have to do anything else. It will just automatically take you back into the quiz. All right. Also want to mention that this particular game is running on quizzes, and quizzes license lets 99 people play on the quiz without any issues. There's license for 99 participants. It is on their server. You are not playing on my laptop. So if there are delays and there are glitches, it is not because there is something that is happening at our end here in the United States. See, we are all connecting to quizzes. So I want you to know that, I'm mentioning these things because these are some of the thoughts you may have while you're playing the quiz, and there are, glitches that are happening, a slowing down of things. So we are all connecting to quizzes to do this event. So their server has the capacity to handle 99 participants. So the setup is good. And how we connect to it is where sometimes, there are challenges. All participants are required to engage their video while playing the quiz. It is super important that you have your video on. I need to know if this is Sumi playing the game. It is Sumi, not her husband, playing the game. So, this is a Bible quiz. This is all based on trust. You are not in a room where we can see you. So we truly trust everybody will do the right thing. We don't expect people to do things like that, but it's important to say that, because there is always room for temptation and scope. We want to make sure you are on the camera, facing the camera, clean and clear, and playing this. Even if it is your phone, that's all right. And there are people on this quiz. There is a team of people who will be observing and watching and calling those out. If you cannot use the video camera, unfortunately, I'm sorry, you wouldn't be qualified. You can play the game, but if you happen to be the winner and you are not, on a video, and if your camera is not on, sorry, I'm mumbling. If your camera is not on, then that would truly disqualify you. There are some exceptions, and I'm very careful as I say that. There are some exceptions and some exceptions only, where, a person has only one device. They're playing on a cell phone. And we had a child who was playing from a country where he had only one device. And if he switches between the applications, the camera was switching off. So we made an exception in his case because he truly doesn't have the ability to do that. But these are few and far between. We want everybody to have their camera on and be in a place where we can see that you are not being helped by anybody. And we trust, this is not a youth quiz, so I don't have to emphasize. I trust you understand what we mean by that. Any questions on the setup of the quiz? Of course, your name should be first name and last name, no wonky names. I know you're not teenagers. Teenagers like to use cool names, cool dude, and things like that. Now we will use first and last names. Please use the full last name, not initials, because we have 63 people. And we want our team to be able to observe and monitor this and make sure, everybody who says is there, is there. Let me just pause here. Any questions on the setup of the quiz?
So where is the link, Sunita, for the quiz?
To play the quiz?
Yeah.
Okay, we will do that right now.
Oh,
There's no link to the quiz yet.
oh,
We will be doing that on the screen. That's why we are doing the mock quiz today. We'll get to that in like 5 minutes.
all right.
The links that I was talking about, it sounds like Ravi, I can't see the faces. Ravi, if that's Ravi, the links that I was talking about are training links. Okay, all right. The game will begin with the participants arriving on time and locked until the game is over. It is the responsibility of the contestants to ensure their timely arrival and stay update with the communication. We are not going to chase you, send you reminders, phone call you, you're late for the study sort of a thing. None of those. If you're there, you will participate. And if the game has started, we finish the registration, We are done. When we say we are done with the registration, even if you arrive 90 seconds after that, unfortunately, we cannot admit you. It's your responsibility to make sure you are on time for these things. Let's not forget, this is a discipleship. This is a way of discipleship. So we expect people to be disciplined about that. Participants will be assigned to a breakout room at the time of check-in. I think I already mentioned that. All participants will complete all the rounds and will have an opportunity to improve their scores through the final round. The game is not over until it's over, and your scores will accumulate as you go. There is only one winner, and 2 runners-up. We expect that you will not take the assistance of any device, ChatGPT, or any other Google or stuff like that. Let me tell you, you cannot. The game is so fast that if there is some sort of a help like that, it'll slow you down. The quiz master will mute all participants and unmute as needed. If there are any questions, you have to wait till the end of the round, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions. Private chats will be disengaged on the Zoom during the quiz. You can chat the team, you can chat us, anybody, but not between participants. If there are any questions for the quiz master, just raise a hand. One of us will look for that, and when we have a pause moment, we'll make sure we'll take your questions. But as each round is happening, we will not pause for your questions. And it's important to know that. It's the end of each round that we will pause for questions. And some of these things I'll mention on the day of the quiz as well. We'll go through some of these rules on that day. The quiz controller will be monitoring all the rounds and can at any time call out an error. Quiz controller makes the final decision concerning the points awarded, corrections, and any ancillary questions in case of an issue. I am not the quiz controller, I'm the quiz master. And I said, there will be somebody who watches, oversees everything, and ensures everything has gone right. And if they call a foul, they are like sitting like an umpire. If they call a foul, they see somebody being helped, they make those decisions. And to ensure that, I'm not looking at it. It's not just me doing everything. There are other people who are engaged in this to ensure that you have a good experience. Now, let's go through the quiz format. This is the last slide. What is happening in the rounds? There are 50 questions altogether in the quiz. Just 50 questions. 50 questions take less than 20 minutes in its true essence. But because it is led one question after the other, it takes a little bit more time. But there are 50 questions, 10 questions each per round. That means there are 5 rounds, 10 questions each. The first round is a true and false round. As it is implied, there are 2 possible answers, true and false, and you will be answering the right question. You will be choosing the right answer from the choice of 2. Very simple, very straightforward. Round 2 is a multiple choice question. That means you will have 4 options, 4 choices, like any other typical multiple choice. And there are 10 questions in this round, and you will be selecting your best choice out of the 4 options given to you. In both these rounds, it's very straightforward. Your interaction is you look at the question, you answer, give your answer. It's as simple as that. Now, coming to round 3, whose line is this? As you progress through the quiz, obviously the challenge increases. In this particular round, you will be given a line. A line. Somebody has said something in the text. Somebody has said something in the text, in the chapters, and we will just, in other words, a dialogue. We will give you a dialogue, and you will be given 4 choices as to who said it. Who said it? Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. And I'm just using an example, Matthew 28:20. And, the choices would be like Jesus, Matthew, Mark, and you would say Jesus said it. So it's like that. Who said that? Whose line is it? Round 4 is, do you see what I see? This is the most fun and also the most challenging and the most loved round. Our youth love this round because it's so different. we will give you a picture on the screen. We'll give you a picture on the screen, a picture that would, that is depicting a particular scene. And you will be given 4 choices to guess what is the scene depicting? What is the scene depicting? It is challenging because you may not perceive everything that's going on the screen sometimes, but there are context clues in the scene. Some are easy, some are hard, but the question choices are not overlapping each other in such a way that it is intended to confuse you. If somebody is eating something off a plate, we will not ask you if they're eating noodles or a hamburger or something. No, the question would be, are they eating something or are they reading something? I hope you're understanding. They are not answers none of the answers are there to confuse you. They are clearly distinct, and you would be able to you have to guess the right answer. In order to guess the right answer, you have to know what the scene is depicting. And if you have read the Bible, you read your quiz text, you will know what the screen is depicting. So there is never any confusion as, oh, that scene doesn't look like what the scripture is saying. No, that will never happen. It will always look like the script. But it's just that you have to look for context clues. And when we play the mock quiz, you will see that. And I'll walk you through some of that. Final thing is the final countdown round. This is a mix of things. It could be true and false, multiple choice, could be a dialogue. What makes this particular round different and challenging is the weights behind these questions are different. So if somebody is leading the chart until round 4, all of a sudden comes to final countdown and they make one mistake. And that one question could have been 10 points. Everything else is 1 point. That one question is 10 points. The one who has answered it right leads up forward. So it changes everything in the leaderboard usually because you really don't know which question has the high point. I wouldn't know that only in the setup behind the scenes. We know we have calculated it that way, but every question has a different weight. So the reason why we made that is if you are, kind of somewhere behind in the leaderboard, lagging behind, this could change the dynamics. The last could be first and the first could be last. And that's the whole point behind doing the shift in the final countdown. Obviously, this is the most challenging round in terms of questions, but our youth have said in the past, it wasn't as challenging as they thought it is, because all said and done, it's scripture. And if you have prepared, all of these should be easy in that sense, but they are using different visual contexts and different format. That's all that is. So let me just pause here. Any questions?
I have one question about the content. You said the one about Judah is not there, that chapter, we don't have to worry about it. 46, Genesis 46, it has all 70 people who entered the promised land. I'm sorry, Egypt, the names. That's another layer of studying. You can say no comments. Should we focus on the names also?
That's a very good question and sounds like Malati to me. Could be wrong.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked. We are not so big on asking questions of who begat whom and descendants and names, unless they have certain significance. Especially in those narrations, who begat whom and things like that. No, we will not. I can say this outright. There are no questions that are trying to quiz you. So we are not trying to find complicated ways to trick you and asking a question that is never there. But if it is a name that is there in other chapters and it's significant to the story, yes, that could be there.
Thank you. That explains a lot. Thank you so much.
Sure. Even when it comes to places and things like that, if it is a significance to the story, then we would have, but if it is just random names, no, our tendency is not to choose those questions. But, I would say just prepare. Definitely those kind of genealogy names, no, we wouldn't be asking any questions. Good, that's a good question. Anybody else? the easy part. Here's, if you don't have to stress, everybody, please don't stress. Goal is not to stress. It's to enjoy and have fun. This is not the entire Bible, which could be pretty daunting. I don't know how I will do an entire Bible quiz. This is just a few chapters. And you read that a few times, you should be good. You know, we don't want it to be so challenging that you won't come back again next year. We want you to come back next year and be part of this. So I've gone through the guidelines. We will play the mock quiz now. So the thing that what we would want you to say is read, prepare, and come to play. You know, come to play, don't come to win. But if you play and you do well, you will win. You know, that's kind of how I want you to look at it. So what I will do is now I'll stop my share and I will engage the quiz now. Okay, we will all be playing the quiz. So whatever devices, whatever setup you have, it's time to get that ready. I have 15 questions that I will that we will play this game like we would do on the day of the quiz. Okay, so let me first engage the quiz at my end, and then I'll share my screen. Just give me a second, folks. I keep a silent quiz. I don't use any fancy jingly jangly noises because they could be pretty annoying. And I would encourage you to do the same at your end. That has worked well for people in the past. You know, keeping it mute. So it's kind of a mute quiz in that sense. All right, I am now going to share my screen. Okay, so in your devices, browser, whatever you have, just type in joinmyquiz.com, joinmyquiz.com, no www. Notice that, it's just joinmyquiz.com, enter in the game code, type in your name, first name, last name, and join. Very good. If you are watching the Zoom, which you can if you're using two devices or a split screen, then you should be able to see your names come up here. You're welcome to invite your friends and family and kids to join and watch the quiz. They are welcome to do that. Come to the Zoom, but they are not welcome to play the game. They can come to the Zoom and watch you and encourage and cheer for you. They're more than happy to do that. The best way actually is for you to Chromecast this on your TV and they can watch you play. Whichever works fine. We are not restricting, but they cannot play the game. First and last name, fully spelled out. Yeah, see, some people did not enter their last name. So on the day of the quiz, we will expect you to spell the first and last name because there are multiple people. We want to make sure we don't have any challenges with two Rachels or two Rebeccas because that can happen.
Yeah. Sister, can you repeat the code?
No, sure. It's on my screen, 681397.
Thank you.
Let me give one more minute and we'll get started because there are 31 people on the Zoom. I expect at least 25 plus to be on the quiz. Okay. While not everybody was, the mock quiz was not mandatory because some people are familiar with it, but you will, through this experience, if you are playing this for the first time, you will realize, doing this one round is helpful. Because on the day of the quiz, if you're fumbling around and trying to wonder, we won't be able to wait for you. And those things have happened, and it's such a shame when people prepared and they are not able to play the game because they couldn't join. It's sad for us to see that too. And we are unfortunately not in a place to help you with your device. Okay, so looks like 27. We have 27 participants. Jamuna, can you please verify? If it is just you, apart from you and I, there are
One more if I'm
one
not
more.
wrong, Sunita, because Veronica, there are two people, so one, you, me, except three of us.
Okay.
28.
All right. I think we'll get started in interest of time because I want to wrap this up in 15 minutes. I'm going to start the quiz, okay? I'm going to start the quiz over here. And you will begin to see the questions come up on your device or on your browser. First question. Good. All questions are 20 seconds. You can either on your device or on the screen. You can see the answer explanation. Joseph served them there in custody for a while. So he served them. There is really no interpretation that we are trying to place. So we are giving you an answer explanation immediately. Sometimes we have noticed, depending on what kind of device, whether it's Apple or Android or something like that, you are not able to see the answer on your device or your screen, but on the Zoom, it is displaying. So you have the ability to see that. And I have the leaderboard showing up on the screen. This is how you are able to check on the screen. For some reason, this is 50-50. Some people thought he served, some people thought he didn't. Well, that's interesting. Next question. True or false? Good. So Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out before the Pharaoh. That's the right answer. And most of you got that right. You can see your scores showing up on my screen on the Zoom if you want to. Next one. The scripture says that they were his wives. Good. Most of you got that right. Next question. Time's up. He gave 300 pieces of silver. Okay. You can see the leaderboard. It's shifting again. Brother Lawrence is fighting fiercely. 300 is the right answer, and most of you got that right. Next question. This is the fifth question. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him. Good. And most of you got that right. Very good. See, it's not, let me just pause here. Are we doing good? Somebody just shout out to say, it's clear, you are understanding it, you're following along, okay?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see thumbs up and Karun.
Okay,
joining
good.
the
See, it's simple and straightforward, nothing tricky. It's all from scripture. Good. Next question. The master saw that the Lord was with him. Good. Most of you got that right. There are no negative marks. I would rather you answer something than not answer. Some of you are not answering the question. I don't know if maybe because you stepped away to have a coffee or something. I don't know, but don't worry about not answering. Just click a button if you're not sure what's the answer. What if that's right? It's always better to answer than not answer. Next question. This is whose line is it? A dialogue. It was spoken by Potiphar's wife. And most of you got that right. See, that was easy, right? A simple dialogue, and you had to just guess who said it. Next one. It was the Pharaoh who said it, and most of you got that right. Next question. Next question. Take a look at the picture on the screen. So that was an illustration round. Israel stretching out his right hand and laying it on Abraham's head. See, that was easy. The answers were not confusing. So you were able, if you know what's going on in the story, you can pick it up. So that was good. 10th question. It is Joseph being cast into the pit. And most of you got that right. That's good. Next question. This is Joseph forgiving his brothers. And most of you again got that right. At the end of 12 questions, you can take a look at the leaderboard. I think it passed. Next question. He guided his hands knowingly, and most of you got that right too. At the top, we have Lydia, Sumi, and Lawrence. Next question. Right, that's the answer. Simeon and Levi are brothers. Most of you got that right. Looks like it was a little challenging. This is the final countdown. The weightage is different. So I would expect to see the leaderboard shift a little bit here. Right. And this is the last question. Time's up. End of our mock quiz. Let's see. Now you can look at the Zoom now. 40 days are required for him. 40 days is the right answer, and most of you got that right. I'm going to end the quiz. And now you can look at the Zoom screen to see the results. See, quizzes is calculating. And it has announced the winners for this mock quiz. Lydia in the first place, Sumi, followed by Sumi Bhaskar and Brother Lawrence in the third place. Awesome. So I know this is just a mock quiz. I'm going to exit this quiz, stop my screen share. You can see the results on your application if you're playing this for the first time. Let me just give a few minutes for you to tell me how was your experience. Was this easy? Are you following through?
It was good, Sunita. There was some delay between your screen but I kept my eyes on the quizzes rather than the Zoom so that I'm not I don't miss the question.
Okay, good. Good. Once you have played this, you know what to expect. It's not new. So if you have family who is joining for the quiz, play this with them. It's important you get familiar. It's not complicated rocket science. It's just clicking the button, but it's just visually you are switching back and forth. Anybody else? Any questions? How was your experience? Were the questions easy? I want you to tell me. Was it easy or hard?
Sunita, the questions were easy. Thank you. I have a question. Because you are sharing your screen, that's why we were able to see those questions in two screens, right? Otherwise, it's only in one device that we are accessing, correct?
Sure.
Okay. Only for today, it's showing up in both devices.
Even on the day of the quiz, this is how it will be.
Okay.
It will be. If you are on a different device, all you need to do is just look at your device and answer that. You don't have to look at it in both places. The answer shows up on your device, the question shows up on your device. You're looking at the Zoom more for leaderboard and things like that.
Okay. Thank you, Sunita.
How your experience was today is how it is going to be on the day of the quiz. The questions, of course, won't be that simple. I chose the simplest ones for the mock because I really don't want to deter you. But again, as you have seen, there are only so many chapters, how complicated it could be. The visual round is fun and you have to pay attention. But again, the answers are not designed to confuse you. So that's the good part. Anybody else? Any questions, thoughts, comments? Okay. All right. I'm glad some of you are playing for the first time and you played well. Lydia, you practiced so well. So that's good. This is a good marker for you. You have 1 week, so that's a lot of time. So I hope you really spend that time this week. I hope you are enjoying this experience, encountering the word. That's the purpose behind this entire thing. And we want this to be a pleasant and good experience for you. And more than anything else, it is shaping you to be, more and more in his image, because our goal is that we manifest Christ in our life. So from the ministry, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to serve you all. And thank you for joining the quiz. And if you have any questions pertaining to the quiz, please. Any questions pertaining to the quiz, WhatsApp us, email us. I would rather you ask than assume. All right? Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all next week. I'll hang around for a minute or two if anybody has any questions, but otherwise, you're free to go. Bye now.